Welcome back to your podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Beth Ann.
And I'm Kaylee.
And we're just kidding. I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Beth Ann. Wait, we forgot. I forgot to say something.
You messed me up because you did a little shimmy. If you're watching on YouTube, Miss Beth was getting into you're gearing up for CMA Fest, Queen.
No, it's because since we have the same intro every time, it just...
You wanted to spice it up on
I
them.
get so tickled by it.
It is so funny because, like, who are we
anticipation.
fooling anymore?
That's exactly how I feel.
New listeners, to be honest,
What?
we're fooling me at times when I'm riding around and I pop on your podcast on Spotify. I'm like, wait a minute, who was that? And I literally don't know if it was me or you.
I do the same thing.
But I think I was talking to Brett, one of our friends, I can't remember, was saying they know us exactly apart when we're talking. So that's so funny.
He's such a real one. Always has been.
Always has been. I can't wait for this week. Me and Miss Beth are headed to Nash Vegas. We are just gonna bebop around CMA Fest. So if you're there, actually by the time this episode, we're doing that thing. We're pre-recording right now because since we're going out of town all week, that will be the last episode that goes live before Many Waters launches.
I'm acting like so shocked, and I'm the one who put this on because I knew that we were going to talk about it. I'm like, no way.
I know. If you're watching, you can see that we're matching today. We're twinning. Beth Ann and I are both wearing our Many Waters hoodies. If you have no idea what we're talking about, we are launching a faith-based apparel brand, and this is the hoodie. We have matching joggers, but they're going to be sold separately. Just in case you're not a joggers person or you're not a hoodie person, get your joggers or get your hoodie or get them both together because they sure do look so cutesy.
That's right.
And so we wanted to talk today just about kind of like how we started this journey of an apparel brand that I don't know if either one of us thought would ever be necessarily like on our radar in life.
But we're not limiting it to just apparel.
No.
That's a little bit daunting because that's never been my passion is like apparel, you know?
Right.
Like I'm not like your fashionista, but I know what I like.
Yes.
You know?
We're not necessarily fashionistas, but we know what we like. And it kind of, the whole idea sparked because if you're an OG, you know that we've launched several rounds of merch. And so what we really want to highlight is the difference in merch and like this brand. So our merch, we had What's Going On from Miss Beth's Viral Sound. We had Morning. We had hoodies and t-shirts and coffee mugs and all that was so fun.
And you pretty much only got the merch if you knew who Kaylee and I were, you know?
Right.
And so it was in support of us, which is so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we've gone into a little bit of detail on this. It's been months. And at this point, the bankruptcy situation happened 2 years ago. But in 2023, right after we had launched whatever the last launch
It was the Morning.
It was the Morning.
Yellow hoodies,
Yes.
mugs, because we did a photo shoot in Waffle House. It was so fun, y'all.
It was so
we were
fun.
partnering with this company, Fanjoy, that a lot of creators worked with to do merch. So it was just you work on the design, and I mean, you can do as much or as little as you want in the creative process and stuff, but you are not physically the one shipping things out and doing all of that. They do all the back end stuff. You're just on calls, basically telling them what you want it to look like.
We customized the pieces for Many Waters, the color, the fabric, everything. We sent into the manufacturer and the factory, all the things that we love that we have at home. We went shopping, we shopped around, felt different things. So what we've created is something very unique, and it's customized so you can't get it anywhere else other than Many Waters.
It's not in the market. Yeah. So from the literal cuff on the hoodie to the top of the double layered hood to the bottom of the jogger, every single stitch is custom. And we're really proud of that because it's something that we realized after this whole thing with Fanjoy and trying to get this merch out to you guys, where we hated that we didn't have any control over the fact that they filed bankruptcy. All of these orders got lost in the shuffle, or some of you guys never even got refunded, or you never got your products.
Either. That was the biggest thing. We launched, and it was pretty much the next day. Like they're filing for bankruptcy. We got things in the mail. They ghosted us. They ghosted y'all. So everyone's reaching out to Kaylee and I, which we don't blame y'all because you didn't know any better. But you know, I didn't get this. I haven't got this. I ordered this 2 months ago. I haven't been refunded. I tried to cancel my order, and it was such a disaster. And we couldn't get in touch with anyone.
We could get no answers about
answers.
anything that we spent months also designing and help. And we were so excited about promoting, did photo shoots for, and
so y'all, it was a disaster on both ends because y'all never got your product. Some of you never got refunded. Kaylee and I were never paid for any of the work that we put in. And we still, to this day, have not heard from them. It's just been, like, I was literally on the phone with the bankruptcy attorney place Friday. And I'm going to check back in today because I haven't heard anything. And I know it was the weekend. We're going to be gracious. But
yeah,
it's been a time. So we wanted to get miles and miles and miles and miles away from that and just do something that we had complete control over.
Yep.
Go at our own pace.
We love to be comfy, and we love a matching set. And I can't think of anybody who doesn't love a set. So we actually started working with a couple girls that we formed really good relationships with. They've created their own agency, Refinado, and we have tagged them on some of our socials. But also, if you own a business or you're looking to launch one, any kind, check them out at their Instagram, Refinado, Refinado. Katya and Amanda are incredible. They have all the contacts for our manufacturer and our graphic design and just have really helped lead us and direct us and encourage us at moments where we were like, oh my gosh, like, wait, are we crazy? Are we, okay. They just have a lot of knowledge and experience in the industry.
And I just pulled up their Instagram because I knew there was like one more thing. It's refinado.creative.
Okay.
And when you go to it, it'll say Refinado Creative Agency and Studio.
Okay, love. So, yes, y'all, we started working with them and they were like, you guys were so passionate about merch, and how would you feel, or have you ever given thought about creating something completely of your own brand? And, we're 24 years old. At the time that we started, we were 23. It was over a year ago. And we felt, okay, I guess if not now, when? It's kind of one of those things where all the time, anything, it's like, oh, we'll do that one day, or we'll get around to that, or someday I'll do this. And then years go by and it's like,
I never did that.
I'm
pretty sure you only regret the things that like you don't
do.
Is that what they say?
I feel like we've learned a lot through all of this. We've formed really great relationships with all the different people that we started working with. And so we have loved it.
And I've learned to just believe in myself and trust the Lord, because when things start to feel overwhelming, it's very easy to just be like, okay, yeah, bad idea, later.
Right.
Nothing's ever going to feel like the right time. To be like fully transparent, throughout the past year, there's been days I'm like, oh no. I mean, our garage has 1,001 boxes in it. Like, we have everything stacked up. But then it's also like so much to be proud of. It brings me so much joy. I love the idea of furthering the kingdom. I love the message behind this. And it's such a reminder of what Kaylee and I, not like overcame, but kind of. We were in like a very questionable time in our lives. We were going through a couple work tings. We had some business decisions to make and things like that. And we were just anxiety filled.
When we launched, or not when we launched, I'm sorry, at the time of like starting to brainstorm a brand and what we would want, we immediately knew that we wanted something faith-based. We're like, okay, what are some things that we love? We love Jesus and we love comfy clothes. And that's kind of the only experience we've had with designing some of our own stuff is on clothes. And we were just like, okay, let's start there. And so that's why we said earlier, it's not like we're totally limiting ourselves to apparel. We don't know what could come of many waters. But back to what you were saying about kind of going through a hard time is when we started praying about what could the name, a name of a business, like that felt so heavy to us. We went back and forth. We submitted names like, hey, this is what we're doing. And then I woke up in the middle of the night one time. I just literally such a heavy chest and I was so uneasy. I was like, okay, I don't even know if we need to do this. I'm not sure. I felt like it was Satan trying to like steal my joy and deter me from creating this thing to spread the good news of Jesus and tell people about Jesus. And so I was like, okay. So I literally, y'all, one night just started praying out loud and I pulled my Bible out, and sometimes I just flip through and land on a page and Lord, show me something on this page. And I know that's like kind of crazy because sometimes I end up in the middle of like,
something that doesn't make sense.
Something I'm like, I'm not quite sure if you're telling me anything with that. Yeah, let's try a new page. But for some reason, I was really wanting to read in Revelation, and sometimes it feels super heavy. And I just was like, I'm going to read. It talks about end times a lot, and some of it can be daunting. And I found this verse, Revelation 1:15, which is where many waters came from originally. So this chapter, John is describing a vision of Jesus, and he describes, I'm actually just going to read it all to you guys. Revelation 1 verse 9 says, I, John, your brother and partner in the tribulation and the kingdom and the patient endurance that are in Jesus, was on the island called Patmos on account of the word of God and the testimony of Jesus. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet saying, write what you see in a book and send it to the 7 churches, to Ephesus and to Smyrna and to Pergamum. I always mess that up. And names a few more that I can't pronounce. Then I turned to see the voice that was speaking to me, and on turning, I saw 7 gold lampstands, and in the midst of the lampstands, one like a son of man, clothed with a long robe and with a golden sash around his chest. The hairs of his head were white, like white wool, like snow. His eyes were like a flame of fire. His feet were like burnished bronze refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the sound of many waters. Or this version says his voice was like the roar of many waters. And I was like,
it kind of stopped you in your track.
It kind of stopped me in my track. I was like, wow, okay, so this is describing Jesus's voice, which essentially is what we want to emulate in what we're producing. And it's like, we did not want something that was about us. Mm-hmm. The merch was fun. What's going on? Worn it. That was so fun. But you kind of had to know us, and we want people to know Jesus. And so
like, I buy from the brand Seek Jesus, but I don't know who's behind the brand. I just know that I love the brand. I love the message, but I don't actually know. Which, like, I'm going to do that. Hold on. I kind of want to see who's behind that.
Yeah.
You know how I am with my photos, y'all.
Yeah. Well, when we were researching, what are some other faith-based brands and like what do they have going on? A lot of websites will show you kind of where people started, their origin story. And it's all very like comparable. I mean, here we are in our townhome, in our college town, mind you. And we are running this business out of our garage. And I love that. I love it because I'm like at home.
It's so gorgeous. You can do it anytime of the day.
Anytime of the day, anytime of the night.
Wake up again in the middle of the night with a tight chest. Go pack up some
orders.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all, that is where Many Waters comes from. And there's another verse. This was really a God wink. So we were in a Bible study several months ago. And it was at a point where we were waiting on some final things to wrap up with Many Waters. It was just feeling like really, really real. Like, okay, we're taking this on and just everything that goes into it. And we were in a Bible study with my mom, and we were reading in Psalm chapter 18. And this is King David. And he is like poetically thanking God for delivering him from danger, from his enemies. And he describes his enemies in a metaphor. He says, he sent, talking about God, he sent from on high, he took me, he drew me out of many waters.
That is kind of, I think I jumped the gun earlier and I could tell that you were frustrated with me. Maybe not frustrated.
What?
When I was talking about like the time in our lives when we were just like so excited.
Oh yeah, you jumped the gun. You did.
We couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. That he pulled us out of many waters. Like the way that I know what John was describing when he said that Jesus' voice sounded like the sound of many waters. Kaylee and I were just going through a time where we really had to try and hear the Lord's voice clearly, because we had a lot of different voices in our heads. We had a lot of different advice coming from different angles, and we had some decisions to make. And the thing about Jesus' voice is it cuts through the noise. And if you're just really intentional and pray and ask, please, God, let me hear your voice. Let me know that this is you. He will.
Mm-hmm. And it becomes so abundantly clear. It just really, I think, shows the Lord's faithfulness to us throughout this process. You will see if you order, and you'll see on Instagram, but our bags that the product or your sweatshirt, your sweatpants come in is an image of a hand reaching up out of the water and Jesus's hand with the nail through his hand reaching down to, like King David was saying, deliver you from many waters. And so it's just kind of imagery depicting how God is our rescuer and our redeemer. And we are so excited about it. So when this episode drops, we will only be days away from launching. So we're launching Sunday, June 15th. Stay tuned for the exact time. We'll be posting that all over our socials. And it's funny too, because when we were trying to find the perfect time to launch, it's like, okay, I feel like there's never a perfect time. And, it's middle of summer and we're launching hoodies and joggers, but we wear hoodies and joggers year round. Most people that we know do. And especially, summer evenings on the lake, or throw in a pair of sweatpants, whatever.
And not all your summer travels are to the beach.
Right.
Some of your summer travels are
Antarctica.
Out chair. Yeah.
No, these are super, super soft. We're in love with the material, and we have a secret that you will get to see more of on our socials. But we put a little hidden zipper in the big kangaroo pocket, which I really wanted to highlight. If you are watching, you can kind of see, and it is big enough to fit your phone, your keys. We really wanted that because I just feel like things will flop around, especially if it's a little lip gloss and you put it in the big kangaroo pocket.
Like the other day, I was getting out of the car and I had forgotten that I was wearing my Mini Waters hoodie, but I'm so used to just having any old regular schmegular lame hoodie on that when I went to go put my lips, my little lip gloss in the pocket, I was like, oh no, it's gonna fall out. And then I looked down and I was like, oh yes, and I just used the little zipper.
I love that.
So happy that I had it, and I was like, this is so fire.
Yes. Yeah. So June 15th, y'all. And this first collection, we're calling the Greatest of These collection because we chose to put 1 Corinthians 13:13 on the hoodie. And so we have a little hit on our right wrist, 1 Corinthians 13:13, and it comes from just a chapter of love. It's called the love chapter. In this chapter, Paul is describing how love is the most impressive spiritual gift. It's the most important spiritual gift. And above all else, love. And God is love. And so we have faith, hope, and love up on the left side of the hoodie. See if you can see that. If you're wearing it, it's on your left. So faith. Oh my gosh, I look literally a mess. It's so funny. I can't figure it out. If you're wearing the hoodie, what?
Why are you getting so tickled?
I was getting so tickled because I was trying to show it, but I'm facing with like my right side, so it's easier for you to pop your hoodie up.
I know. I did pop it up. Did you not see that?
I did, but I was too distracted with trying to look at myself. See if you could see faith, hope, and love on that. Yeah. But it comes from that verse, 1 Corinthians 13:13. So now faith, hope, and love, which is what's written on the hoodie, abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. And so across the back on the bottom hem of the hoodie, we have, but the greatest of these is love.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. We love it. I mean, we're so excited.
The way that these turned out versus like our first few ideas of number one, where to put the words or what words to use. What even like, it's just a miracle.
I'm not kidding. It's a miracle.
That's how I feel.
No, we had so many ideas, which I think is great. I think you're probably in a worse spot if you don't have that many ideas.
I know, but sometimes I just want someone to tell me
what
you
to
have
do.
These 5 items to choose from. It's like when you go into a Ross. That's just, I can't do Ross.
There's too much.
It's too much.
And you can't even go by section. There's just
thrifting.
Something different in every single hanger.
I'm not good enough to thrift. I'm not talented enough. I'm defeated as soon as I walk in. There's probably something so majestic in here.
Maybe we're not patient enough to thrift.
Let's not like knock ourselves right
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that was so good. Thanks for heading that up. You did great.
Of course.
Yeah.
Y'all, if you want to be the first to hear about the drop, we will be sending an email the second it goes live. So you can head to our website, mini-waters.com, and enter your email. We're not going to spam you. We don't like to be spammed, or we're not going to spam you. But very important updates will be headed to your email. So be sure to go type that in so you don't miss anything. We, of course, have limited supply as we are running this out of our garage. But you'll be getting your stuff within 5 to 8 days.
Yes.
So it's not going to be a pre-order thing. It's not going to be you getting it 3 months later, whatever. When you order, we'll be packing. It's not going to be
not getting it at all.
It's not going to be that either. And you'll have a handwritten note in tow from me and Miss Beth. We're sacrificing our hand cramps
I was thinking
we want
about
it
it
to be sentimental.
yesterday at church when I was taking my notes. I was thinking to myself, wow, the only time that I write pen to paper is at church.
Mm-hmm.
Never throughout the week do I have to find, because on Sundays, because I never can keep up with the same pen, even though it just stays in my car.
Yeah.
I think where I need to get a pen, but throughout the week, I'm never trying to find a pen. Like, I don't know, like the art of writing.
With my weekly giveaways on Instagram,
You be writing.
I always write a handwritten note and include it in the package, and I can never find a black ink pen.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have them. We need to get some.
Okay, like the ballpoint.
Let's get some really fun pens that we enjoy writing with for the
Gel.
notes. Yeah. Gel, or do you think that'll smear?
Can't have a smear.
Do you want to do the ballpoint Sharpie? Because I don't think those smear. You know, like the fun, like what Miss Williamson used, my first grade teacher.
Can't mess up.
I know, we can't
But
mess
I guess
up.
you can't mess up in pen.
Pen either. We're not going to scratch out. We have plenty of cards.
Period, Kaylee.
So let's hop into Flicks and Feels. That's our movie segment. We are always taking movie suggestions right into us at yourpudcast@gmail.com. Tell us your favorite movie or a movie you're just wanting to watch, and we'll all watch it together. This last week, we watched Nonas on Netflix.
Good.
It was so good.
And do not watch it if you're hungry. Do not watch it if you're full. No, because then you'll never watch it. It's so good. I was so full last night.
Yeah.
I could have just plopped myself at any one of those scenes. They were scarfing it down. It was just everything. Like, I cannot wait. Kaylee and I are going to Madrid in July, and I literally cannot wait
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
for that home cooking.
For that home cooking.
And that fresh cooking.
Of course, that's Spain. So we're not going to be eating like Italian, but you know.
I know, Kaylee, but it's still just like the idea. You know how they are.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be really fresh and maybe no preservatives. Not sure, but
Like in Greece.
like in Greece.
When I had French fries every single day and lost 6 pounds.
Lost. Oh, that was a
Things I
miracle.
would do to lose 6 now. So anyway, no, but I loved it, and everyone just came together. Like, sometimes Netflix struggles with their movie selects. Like, I know we can all agree, even though we choose a lot from Netflix, which I don't know. Is that
Because most people have Netflix.
I know, but they be struggling. But this was so good. Like, I thought I was on Prime.
Okay.
I thought I was on Prime Video.
Yeah, you're so funny. Sometimes Prime like isn't.
It was just a feel good. Okay.
Well, no.
Does anyone have good movies? No, it was just a feel good, but also had a great storyline.
Yeah.
I loved. I don't know the actress's name, that
Played the girlfriend.
the girlfriend. Yeah, but I pretty much love everything that she's in.
I
Same with
think
the guy.
that's Olivia.
Period.
The girlfriend was Olivia. Joe is the main character. Oh, Beth Ann, it's based off of a true story. Did you know?
know, it's my favorite part.
I want to go there. I want to go to that restaurant in New York.
Is it still there?
I think it's still there. We were watching like the end credits, me and Gage, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, because they showed some clips of like the real Nona and Joe.
Oh my goodness.
And so, oh my gosh, yeah.
I was literally waiting for their shoe to drop. Like, whenever it wasn't working out, and
I
the critic, I
know.
just knew, especially because I was checking how much time I had left, and I was like, they have to.
Yeah.
It has to work out.
It was so disheartening though. Like when it wasn't, and the friend had sold his dad's car or something to help put a down payment. Oh, I think I cried.
I teared up when did I tear up? Oh gosh.
I want to know.
I teared up. It was when all the women, all the nonas.
Yeah.
When everyone started clapping for them.
Mhm.
When they had all the
Yep,
friends and
I
family the
cried.
night before they closed. Quote closed. I teared up.
Me too.
Like
We
that
definitely need to look it
marinara
up.
bay.
Mhm.
That marinara bay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I loved how they brought in storylines too from all the different nonas, like the one that didn't have the great relationship with her children. And then, okay, that was resolved. She called her daughter. And then I loved like the nun, and then she tried the alcohol, which was hilarious. So funny. She wanted that limoncello bay. And then the other one who was the neighbor to Olivia, and just
This week for Flicks and Feels, we're going to watch, take a screenshot, A Perfect Pairing, also on Netflix. It's with Victoria Justice and Adam Demos. He was on Sex Life on Netflix, which was a really, too much sex. But he is a cutie pie, charming. I think their dynamic is going to be great. I think I had mixed reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but you just can't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
No, yeah.
This looks super, super cutesy. So
I can't wait.
a perfect pairing on Netflix. I'm really excited
I'm going to start
about
it today.
Yeah, I might start it on the stair stepper or something.
Okay, you doing the stair stepping?
I don't know. Yeah. It's been hard.
We could also watch it on our drive to Nashville tomorrow.
Yes. I can't wait for my time with
Or
you.
you could just catch up to where I'm at in White Lotus.
I almost am. I just finished episode 2 and you're on 3, right?
I might have just finished 3. Go ahead, catch up today.
Okay.
We start fresh tomorrow.
Okay, we'll start fresh tomorrow.
That makes me excited.
We can watch in the hotel-y together.
Very excited. I love a trip with you, Kaylee.
I love a trip with you.
It's always so very fun. We got to get on ClassPass after this app.
I already looked.
Okay.
But I honestly just figured, we should wait till we get there and see really what's there.
Are you sure? What if we don't have...
I don't know. My butt cheek is cramping up really bad.
It's from Palooza yesterday.
I was panicking when we were laying on our side and lifting our leg and pulling up. And I really just have to take my brain somewhere else.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes
when I'm doing things that start to hurt, I'm like, so what's going to happen here? Like, is this area of my body going to grow or is it going to get tighter?
Or am I going to be injured?
Or have I done something wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, I was hurting. But there's not really any way, I feel like, for me to position right now. Maybe if I can scoot my leg out. Ooh, okay. You got our Brice Advice?
I've got our Brice Advice, Hooch.
We would love for you guys to submit any qualms you're having in your life. Relationships, problems in the workplace. We love crazy. The crazier, the better. Submit anything you need advice for or our input about to yourpudcast@gmail.com. We will read your submission. It's always anonymous. A few times I think we've said maybe we've come up with names for people, but it's always anonymous. We're not going to tell the whole world who you are.
Never.
And we would love if you would attach a picture of yourself because sometimes that helps us give
advice.
Or the perpetrator that you're writing about.
Sometimes I can tell by the stash or the unibrow. I'm already know.
Oh, you're so funny.
Here's the sitch.
Okay.
One of my friends just moved into my house in April. Her previous lease doesn't end until the end of June. We have been roommates before and have maintained a great friendship. Because of the overlap in leases, she asked if I would split her rent at our house to help lessen the financial burden for her. Because I wanted to live together again so badly, I agreed. But here's the catch. I thought I was agreeing to 2 months of this rent split, but today she reached out asking me to pay again. She understood I was paying for 3 months. Because this was not my interpretation of the agreement, I did not financially plan for this. It's important to note we live in Nashville, so money cha-ching. I have never experienced any money in return, but would appreciate, I have never expected any money in return, but would appreciate a thank you at the minimum. Now, because she is demanding that I pay for June too, I'm having to dip into my inheritance I just got from my grandmother's passing. Do you think I'm obligated to pay this? And do you think I should have a conversation with her about not feeling appreciated or giving so much money? Not only this, but I cook dinner for the both of us most nights, although it's supposed to be a joint effort. I feel a little tired of cooking, cleaning, and all the things. Not that I expect her to do all of these things for me since I helped with her rent, but again, a thank you would be nice. How would you go about addressing these issues? Love you girlies so much. Love you more.
Oh my gosh, thank you for attaching a picture of your dogs. Y'all are so cute.
They're very cute. So I'm lost on a couple things. One, why and how is she demanding you to pay the third month? That's, to me, should be a simple conversation of, I was under the impression that I was paying for 2. I didn't financially plan for 3. I can't help you with the third month. Because she's acting like you're the only person that can give her money. That's just unfair and that's probably wrong and incorrect. Like there's someone else, there's a grandparent, there's a parent that can help her cover that other rent. Second thing I'm confused on is why in the world would she, I guess if you agree to it, you were okay with it. That's fine. But her having that other rent is just not your problem. Mm-mm. It's by no means your responsibility. Literally zero.
You agreed to 2 months. That's it.
That's it.
Y'all wanted to live together. You were like, okay, whatever it takes. There's a little bit of overlap. I think it's ridiculous. I think she's taking advantage of you. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely think you need to address.
Mm-hmm. But she needs to know how to go about addressing the issues.
Maybe one night while you're cooking dinner and she's sitting on her caboose or something, you turn around and say, hey, we're going to call her Lily. I don't know her name. Hey, Lily. You know, while you're stirring the tomato sauce for Sketty. Hey, Lily, honestly, I'm a little taken aback about splitting your rent for a third month because when we agreed to live together and me help you out with 2 months of overlap with the rent, I thought that's all it was. And so I didn't plan for another month, and it's just not really something I can do. So I hope there's another way that you're able to cover that rent.
Lily should have just stuck it out for those 3 months at that other place.
Well, I think this lease started, and so then our queen would have been left alone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Paying both the rents. So it is a sticky situation, but I don't think you need to keep splitting the rent.
So to answer your question, no, I do not think you're obligated to pay that. I mean, this is me assuming she has parents in her lives, but she could even just say, hey, mom or dad, I can pay y'all back. But can you help me cover this month? It's just more than just you and her out there in this big old world. Like, she can ask for a favor from somebody else because you dipping into your grandmother's inheritance, like, God bless. I mean, you know, like, that's just... I just feel like, well, I'm spitting.
God bless.
I just feel like it's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. I feel like if you dip into the grandmother's inheritance, and even if you put your friend on a payment plan, how can you trust that she's going to, because y'all had originally agreed upon 2 months. Now that's gone to the wayside. Now she's and it's like, I don't even want you to get in a situation where you're dipping into grandma's and you never get grandma's back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hate that you're also just doing everything by yourself.
I know.
Why do you want to live with her so bad?
I don't know.
That's like the worst with a roommate, feeling
this
like
is
you're
the
doing
thing.
everything by yourself.
You could also just start by not cooking for the both of you. Like, I was going to say...
I know, but that's always so awkward. Like, what, you make...
Yeah, it's awkward, but grow up and cook your own food.
Yeah.
I was going to say just stop cooking, then she'll like wonder where the food is, but you might not want to be spending, you know, might not have any money left to go get fast food because you're having to pay for her rent.
Yeah.
Like, literally just cook for yourself or cook at a time. You could just kind of start cooking at times that, like, she's just not home yet. And then, like, you've already eaten at this point.
She's like, what's for dinner? You're like, already ate at 2 o'clock.
But this girl's rubbed me the wrong way. Like, you know what I mean? Don't you agree?
I have tears in my eyes.
You know, like, she got a lot of nerve. That's how I feel.
You? Yeah. She got
Go eat your dinner at 2 o'clock and tell her you already ate. So this was fun because it was titled, This Happened Literally 7 minutes ago.
I read this as soon as it came in to our inbox.
I'm currently in a crisis that literally just happened to me, and I would love y'all's advice. For some context, I'm 19 and going into my sophomore year for college. About a year ago, I met a boy who was going to my same college, and we chatted every now and then, but nothing crazy. I had just gotten broken up with at the time and was not looking for anything. We were friends, but became a lot closer second semester of school. Everyone kept telling me that he was interested in me, but I kept brushing it under the rug and saying he wasn't and that he was just being nice. We go to the same church in our college town. We're both part of the same on-campus ministry and basically do everything together. Well, about halfway through the spring semester while we were studying together, he told me that he has been praying about me and about us and that he felt like he wasn't ready for a relationship yet. I respected what he said and backed off and told him that I was glad he brought it up to me in person and that he didn't just ghost me and nothing was awkward. Well, 2 months later, I started noticing him being flirty again, and I was obviously still obsessed with him, so I would flirt back. We have the same friend group in our hometown as well, and we hang out with them multiple times a week. So now it is summer, and we see each other all the time and are both flirting with each other. Then he finally asked me on a date, and I was so excited. We went to dinner and to see a movie, and I had a blast. He said he had fun too, but after the date, I could just tell that things were off. I was so in my head about every little thing that I did, but he was still asking me how my day was and stuff, so I thought maybe everything was okay. Well, he just called me and said he does not want a relationship right now because he feels like he has a good relationship with God and does not want anything hindering it. As much as I respect what he said, I'm also offended. My relationship with God is extremely important to me, and I feel like he was saying that by being in a relationship with me, I'd be pulling him away from God, which is the opposite of what I believe in. I've always talked about God, even when we are with our friends. I know it won't be awkward just because we were friends before and I really do respect him, but I am just so hurt and I really thought this could work out. I feel like I'm so behind that everyone else is meeting their person while I'm here waiting.
I do want to validate you. You know,
He's a pretty good communicator.
He is a pretty good communicator.
I will say that for a guy.
And I want to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt in that I think it is something that he's been struggling with. Maybe he has been struggling in his spiritual walk, and he was trying to get to a place where he felt really, really close to the Lord and did not want anything at all, whether it was a friendship or relationship or anything else taking up time away from what he felt like he needed to be drawing near to the Lord. And so I want to validate you in that. I would also be a little offended just because it would make me feel like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Have I done something wrong in some way?
Horribly.
But I don't think it has anything to do with you.
Mm-hmm,
I want you to seriously find so much peace. It does not have to do with you. And he may be at a point in his life where he just is not ready for a relationship. He needs to focus on one thing at a time. And he needs to feel really good about his relationship with Jesus and at a place where he can really hear the Lord's voice before he pursues a relationship, because I imagine as a man of God, he's dating to marry. And I think that's important and respectable. Don't take it personally. Again, like you said, y'all can remain friends. I think that's awesome. We addressed this on last week's episode, just about waiting. And so I don't want you to feel like you're stuck waiting on him and you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs until he decides that he's ready for a relationship. You need to come to terms with just being okay with a friendship and opening your heart, if that's what you want, to another relationship. I don't want you to find or try to find any insecurity with yourself and anything that you've said or done, because I think that you're also at a really good place. I just think that this is a him thing.
I think that
and
too.
It's not you.
And we also talked about, I believe it was the last episode, about how the Lord protects us and how we have limited knowledge and limited understanding and we can't see the future, but the Lord can, and he's already written it. And I feel like you could just change your perspective a little bit and be like, even though this is a godly man and it doesn't seem like the Lord would be protecting me from him, you also don't know what he's going through, what temptations he has, anything that is stirring with him that he had to make the tough decision, because it probably was, because it seemed like he liked you, like during a movie, had to make the tough decision to just say, not right now. He might need to feel more grounded. He might need to feel something that like you're not searching for. Like, you know, like he might have a struggle that you don't have. Oh, Kaylee, you're so funny. Do you have like a little...
I just moved like a mile away from the mic to sniff because I really hate hearing my sniff over the mic. But yeah,
I get that. So, and you know, things come and go. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone can be your husband. So this could just be a situation where he's just not your husband. That's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
And we're just knocking him out of the way. No matter the reasoning for why certain guys don't work out, why relationships don't work out, it all boils down to like, well, that's just not your husband. Granted, this could still be. You never know what, okay? But just saying, it's okay. Mm-hmm. We sometimes forget that it's literally just okay. It will be okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 100p, girl. You have our third and final Brice advice.
I do. I'm almost 20 years old and just finished my sophomore year of college. I'm studying to be a high school history teacher and just feel so conflicted. Teaching is all I've ever wanted to do, and high school feels like where I should be. My boyfriend is a soon-to-be senior in college and majoring in special ed. It is something we have been able to bond over and helped us grow in our relationship, which is not important, just a cute little fun fact. Period. Here's my problem. I love little kids, and I have such a gift with them. Although I don't want to teach them, everyone in my life is telling me that that's where I belong, and I just don't feel it. But on the other hand, there are so many things I want to do. I could see myself being a nurse, a social worker, a teacher, etc., and I just can't be everything I want to be in one lifetime. I'm feeling lost and nervous that I'm not walking in the purpose the Lord has given me. Is this normal? Did y'all feel like this in college? I don't want to waste my time and be miserable in a job I was never meant to have. What do I do? I feel embarrassed that I'm so confused, and I know that confusion is not from God. So did we ever feel like this? Yes, of course. I changed my major 5 times. I changed my major 5 times, probably would have changed it 6, but I just wasn't going to graduate in 4.5 years. It took me 4.5. If social media wouldn't have worked out the way that it did and just kind of landed in my lap the way that it did, I nannied all throughout college, but then ended up majoring in communication studies. So like, where would that have put me for a job? Not really sure. Don't really know.
Yeah.
So very thankful and grateful. Social media worked out as absolutely what I prayed for. I love it with every fiber. But, I think that it's okay to just do things for a season. I think it's okay that you've gone to school for this and to give it a try. But the Lord can also open doors to other things anytime, like just because you go and you be a teacher, even if it's just for a year, you can do something else afterwards. Like, this is not your end all be all. This can just be kind of where you start. This can just be, okay, this makes sense. I went to school for it. I feel ready. I feel equipped. You get that job right after college. Everything's fresh on your mind. And then during that, you start praying, okay, is this where you want me? Or do I need to go somewhere else? It's totally okay and normal to just feel like you could really do anything. You don't know what to do, but you do have to start somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, we got bills.
We got bills. I'm wondering too if part of your question is whether or not you need to be teaching high school or little kids, because you said that you wanted to do high school and it feels like where you should be. And then you said that you love little kids and have such a gift with them and you don't want to teach them, but everyone in your life is telling you that's where you belong. So if that's maybe that's what we pray about in this season is, okay, you're getting your teaching degree, you're in the middle of it, but Lord, where would you have me? And like you said, just because you get a degree doesn't mean that's the degree you necessarily use. You can get an array of jobs with certain degrees. Gage worked at a high school and his degree was in sociology and criminal justice. So, if you teach for 2 years and you want to be a nurse, you just go grab that.
I sent this text to someone that I know and love.
Okay.
The other day about praying for clarity, because I think that being obedient to the Lord also leads to clarity. And I feel like when we're praying and asking for clarity, it's some of the most fogged. Like, when I'm praying for clarity, I'm like, okay, I feel so fogged. I don't know. There's just something about it. This is what I wrote. Try praying for clarity, because clarity protects us from settling, whether that's a relationship or calling the next play. Clarity also strengthens our confidence. It's hard enough to feel confident in general.
Slow.
Okay, period. It has probably felt impossible to receive any clarity recently. Also, with clarity, it gives God an opportunity to align our desires with his purpose. And then I said recently, I said all of this, but I was talking about myself here. Recently, I've had anxiety about living out God's plan for my life and not my own plan. I think sometimes that I was praying for clarity when I already knew the answer, but I didn't want to face it. I guess the biggest thing I've been learning is that my prayers haven't brought God any new information. It's just opened my heart so that he can transform it, since ultimately clarity isn't just about knowing what to do. It's about becoming who you're meant to be while you wait to find out. So you just are going to be in a little bit of a waiting season while you're also in a doing season.
Yeah.
That's
really good, Beth.
Thank you, Kaylee.
And I'm sure too, your sophomore in college, people are like, you're so young, you have forever to figure it out. And it feels like time is dwindling because you're 2 years from graduation. And then it's like, okay, I have my degree and then I have to go do this and you really do have a lot of time to figure it out and change your mind. One of our very best friends, Ryan, Mr. Ryan, got his degree in bio. He was pre-med. He thought he was going to go to medical school. And then he started thinking about how much time that would take off his life before he really made a check. And he's like, girl, I ain't going to do all that. Talking about being 40 years old before he's really, and he wants a family. And he decided that was not his desire. And so now he shifted gears a little bit. He applied, got right back into Georgia in a week, and is finishing up a few more classes, and that's all there is to it. And so, one thing at a time.
Was that 3?
That was Trace.
We've done it.
Again, we want to hear from you guys. What's burdening you? What's on your heart? What's on your minds? What you're having second thoughts about? Write into us at yourpudcast@gmail.com, and we would love to give you guys our thoughts and always our best effort.
No, it's our professional.
It's our professional advice. Thank you. It's our professional advice because we have now been podcasters for 4 months. February, March, April, May, June. We're on our 5th month. So nearly half a year of doing this, and
You can trust us.
no paid advertisements yet.
Anyway,
Okay.
we're praying for clarity. We're in a waiting season.
And we're praying
while
for
in
paid
a doing
advertisements.
season.
Did anybody ever get with the Nello team?
I have a big stretch.
Okay, big stretch. Y'all. Oh, Beth, I love you. Don't forget to go sign up mini-waters.com.
You can also go to our Instagram, Shop Mini Waters, and then click the link in the bio.
That's exactly right. So we have a prayer request, and actually we kind of have a long prayer request / Brice Advice. It says Brice Advice on a friend who is missing in a prayer request.
Okay, read it.
Okay. Recently, a family we are close with has been struggling as their daughter was, in a way, kidnapped and went missing. She's also my friend. Their daughter's 18 and has been dating a 23-year-old for a couple years. Her parents and family have never really liked this guy because of their age gap and questionable things he's done, but have put up with him because she really likes him. Everyone has warned her and brought up red flags and concerns, but she doesn't care. Last week, her dad got a bad feeling and decided to go through her phone. He found threats, inappropriate pictures, and comments like, move away from your parents, they're controlling, and they'll never change. It's almost as though he's been grooming her for the last few years to be against her family. They also found that he had been forcing her to send him inappropriate content. After finding this out, her parents decided to file for a restraining order against him as he has totally crossed the line and because she is still a minor. They thought that their daughter understood why they didn't want him around anymore, but the other night we woke up to her being completely missing. She had left all of her stuff and phone at home. Her boyfriend and his parents took her hours away from home, and she was nowhere to be found for over 24 hours. We were all devastated and so worried. Her dad could not stop driving all across the state trying to find her, and it's gotten to the point where he would kill someone to find her. The law enforcement got involved, and we all shared pictures of her and her boyfriend in hopes that she would be found. After almost 2 days of being gone, one of her friends reached out to her dad and revealed where she'd been staying with her boyfriend and his parents. Her dad immediately went to pick her up, and as he knocked on the door, police showed up to arrest him. It turns out that the boyfriend's family ended up filing for a restraining order against her own parents. Oh my gosh, so the police showed up to arrest her dad. The boyfriend's dad later was found out to be best friends with the local judge, so they were then able to get a restraining order much faster than her parents were. The dad is now in jail, and the family is not able to see her until the court hearing for the restraining order they want against the boyfriend and his family. She is truly in danger and is brainwashed to think she doesn't need her family. Since this was spread on social media, many people have been attacking my family, her family, and all of her family friends because they believe her parents are truly the problem. People believe her parents abuse her and should just let her go as she's 18, but this is so far from the truth. This is so frustrating for me because I feel as though the true victims are never supported, and those who should suffer from their actions are rarely held accountable. As someone who knows their family and their character, they love her so much and want their daughter to be safe. As her friend, I'm just worried and praying she's okay, and I haven't talked to her and I'm not able to reach her. I wanted to reach out and ask for prayer for her family and that she would just feel loved and not alone. But I also want to know what you guys think on this situation. Should we all let her go to make her own decisions, even if we don't think they're good for her, or should we fight for her back? Oh, me. She is brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
And she is not too far gone because you never are, but boy, she's off the beaten path. This is really, really sad, and I'm really sorry this is happening. I have a friend who has a similar testimony as your friend. She was in this situation, and she was in an abusive relationship, and my friend would have a black eye or something, and the boyfriend's parents would be like, you can't go home to see your family till that goes away. Mm-hmm. Just really scary, and it's scary when the parents are involved because it's like naturally we respect our elders, and it just feels like, yeah, you guys are right, and okay, y'all will protect me, and she's just completely brainwashed by this older guy, and I don't know how much y'all can do legally, and so we have to continue to pray for her, but they're nuts. So I also just want to advise, like, please be safe. They are scaring me.
Ultimate gaslighters. This is like, we're renaming this family to the Gaslighters. Yeah. This is their last name. The Gaslighters. I don't know what I think my advice. Okay, yesterday at church, there was a girl who was baptized. She had gotten into some really, really, really dark stuff. They didn't go into detail, so like I can't go into detail because I don't really know. This is just what they said. Got into some really dark things, had some substance abuse, was, I guess, turning to things that were from the devil. I don't know what exactly, but it was just very scary for her family. They were very, very worried about her. In her own time, what she said happened is that she just heard this voice. Pretend her name was Jessica. Jessica, come to me. Jessica, come to me. Jessica, come to me. Or turn to me, or turn to me. I'm here, I'm here. And she kept hearing it. And then it got louder and louder, and it was all she could hear. So she likes to be one with nature. Okay. She went outside, or she opened her windows in her bedroom, whatever it was. And I guess nature is what she's always turned to. And she felt like everything was worshiping. She could just hear worship. And again, this is someone that did not believe in God, did not believe that he was real any longer. I think at one point she did, but she had turned from it. She was totally on her own way. And she went and woke her parents up, explained to them what happened, had this overwhelming voice and sound in her head. She started crying. She broke down. And then she cried out to God, if you're real, reveal yourself to me, because I want to follow you. I want to trust you. Basically, what seemed like out of nowhere, there was a redemption story. What seemed like out of nowhere, because this same night that this happened was the same night she was caught with X, Y, and Z. I don't really know. So it's upsetting and it's frustrating that nothing is in our timing. And I don't want to say let her go. I would let go of the control you and her family members want to have, because clearly that's been taken. I wouldn't carry the weight of, I would try not to carry the weight of her decisions, because ultimately, she's grown, she's chosen to do this, and there's consequences to people's actions. I believe that there's power in prayer. I would just be safe. I don't know. It's hard to say just let her go to her own ways, because that feels like you're giving up, and no one ever wants to feel like that. And wouldn't you just love for the story to be, we never gave up on you. We were going to get you home no matter what one day, but I don't know. That's next level.
It's one of those things where the girl, she's going to continue to rebel, and she's 18. So legally, what can they do? She's going to continue to rebel until she learns the hard way, and until she comes to it on her own, or until the Lord delivers her. I think y'all are at a really hard spot. And so we're just going to lift her in prayer.
The gaslighters are disgusting.
Disgusting and scary. We have one more prayer request. We had prayed for her in a previous episode. She said, my sweet Grammy passed away Friday evening. She's the sweetest person I knew, and her faith was the strongest I've ever seen. I hope I can be like her one day. Please pray for my family during this difficult time. And then we all turn to God during our grieving period. Okay. Lord, thank you so much for this day. And thank you, God, for waking us up this morning. Thank you for this week ahead. I pray for a hand of protection over Beth Ann and I as we are traveling. God, thank you for every listener and viewer that we have. I pray for everyone who submitted prayer requests or Brice Advice, God, that they would just lift their burdens to you ultimately. God, you want to carry our burdens and the weight of things so that we don't have to. And remind us to lift our prayers to you. I think the more we pray, the less we worry. I want to lift up Mackenzie's family who is grieving the loss of her Grammy. And God, I pray that they would just rest and that she is rejoicing with you, and she is in no more pain and no more suffering, and she is made whole and new, and they will see her again one day. God, I pray that they would just find comfort with one another and in you. Father, and I pray for this family, this friend, our moomsie, who cannot understand why her friend would be making these decisions. And I pray that you would just be with the 18-year-old that has completely gone on her own way. And in your divine way, I pray that you would reveal yourself to her and the plan that you have for her, even if it's just your voice in her mind. God, I pray that you would just be persistent in calling her home and calling her back to her family. I pray that you would deliver her from these people who have brainwashed her and are a danger. I pray for the parents, for the dad, Lord, that he would just be able to find some kind of rest and giving up control to you. God, I pray that you would just continue to bless this podcast and these viewers and these listeners. Thank you for this community and for the time that we get to fellowship and lean on one another. We love you so much. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I think Kaylee and I are finally getting a coffee table today.
Great. That should be delivering soon.
I was very relieved that they did not call during this time.
Yeah.
Because it will be sometime soon.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Y'all, final reminder, go sign up www.mini-waters.com or check out our Instagram, Shop Mini Waters. We also have a TikTok. Y'all stay in the loop, stay tuned, and grab your hoodie and your joggers June 15th.
You're going to look so good. Even if you have a big butt, they're still going to be very comfortable because we made sure to design.
We catered to our big booty queens,
we
too.
really had people like request, like, please, these wide hips and this big caboose, like, allow me. And so
I don't think we said that these are unisex, y'all. These are unisex. Gage at his 2XL/3XL size looks amazing. And then, of course, your girls. You know how we're working. We have sizes small to XXL, and they're all a little of an oversized fit.
So I do a medium in the bottom and a large in the hoodie.
Yep.
But I could do a medium in the hoodie.
In the hoodie. Y'all, never forget and always remember, we love ya and Jesus saves ya. Bye.